Fighters, it's showtime!
Alright everyone, welcome back to another TSG video thing.
I'm Zero.
I'm Mash, and so we're continuing on in the summer of fighting games, and long story short, we said that we were gonna do Sonic the Fighters, because who doesn't like Sonic the Fighters? And unfortunately, I misremembered. I guess I didn't have it. I could have sworn I did. I didn't have it. Last minute, couldn't find another workable fighting game to throw in, so we thought, why not play a game that is based off of a fighting game? And we're gonna do Super Turbo Puzzle Fighter. Zero is shooting me daggers, and I'm gonna have to kick his ass in this puzzle game, this fighting game.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Super Puzzle Fighter. This is the HD version on the PS3, by the way, everyone. And once again, I am indeed using the PlayStation Retro Fighters Defender. I like this controller. You guys should get it. I'll link the freaking review. But no, I was really looking forward to Sonic the Fighters. I really was.
I was too. I was too. You know, this is kind of a funny moment that happened. These things happen. Everything's not perfect in recording. But I was looking forward to Sonic the Fighters as well because it's a fun game. But I like puzzle games. Like, I'm really into puzzle games, and this is one that I didn't get to play a whole lot of, but it's not quite as bad.
It's not a horrible game. Here's the thing. I would play this, but I also would not consider this an actual fighter. I would not. But we are strapped for time. Holy heck, Mash. I thought you were taking your time with this while speaking. What the fuck?
I am taking my time. But so here's the thing. Now, I wonder if I could stick the diamond in there. Oh, I didn't even have a chance. Yeah. Technically speaking, we were going to play... We wanted to do Dive Kick.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Dive Kick could not work. Man, Dive Kick is barely a fighting game, too. It is a fighting game, but it's like so boiled down, it almost doesn't even feel like it's a real fighting game. But anyway, here we are. Do you happen to know much about this game or how it came about or anything like that?
I actually don't know much about this game. Again, we literally chose this thing out of desperation.
There's very big desperation.
So I unfortunately have no information to dish out. But I guess, you know, after we figure out who the winner is, that winner can go ahead and start the, you know, arcade. And I can look up some information while they play, or the other does.
Wow, that's a great idea.
Yes, indeed. We're winging it, guys. We're winging it.
This is about as winging it as it gets.
That's right. Give us a like in the comments if you like the way we're winging this shit.
Well, we're sorry to round off the fighting game, summer of fighting games with this unfortunate mistake, but here we are, and yeah, I like Tetris. I like Puyo Puyo is really fun. What's also really fun is, wow, and sure you can buy Ken
And a puzzle game.
in a puzzle game. Yeah. Why not put fighting game characters?
I mean, look, if anything, Capcom likely realized the popularity of Tetris, because this likely came out during the Super Nintendo era. And they're just like, look, if we can get any of those Tetris fans to play one of our games, it would be a good idea. And I don't necessarily blame them.
No, I don't blame them either. And, you know, it's not the coolest puzzle game, like, right out the gate. I do enjoy it, but it's not, like, the coolest puzzle game. It is, however, unique. That's what a lot of puzzle games kind of have to focus on, is how do we set ourselves apart from the other, like, dozens of puzzle games that there are. You know, because if everyone's just doing Tetris, well, that's not going to be fun, of course, because then everyone's just doing Tetris.
Not at all.
But, you know, this is, you know, this would be a great opportunity to talk about future ideas for summer fighting games choices so that we don't get confused and messed up next time.
Yes, indeed. Holy heck, Mash. What the fizzle?
I'm paying attention, I swear.
Well, let's hope this... Oh my god!
Finish him
Oh,
off
that
with the
helped.
Hadouken. No. You're not supposed to be winning. No. Yeah. So we mentioned on one of the previous recordings that we just did, but definitely want to do the Gundam fighting game, Gundam Wing Endless Duel. We have to we got to figure out how to get that, just because it's on the Super Nintendo. You know, it's not particularly like gonna be easy to get that game running
God
and
damn it.
playing with two people and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's definitely one we got to get on there. Had we not been winging it so much for this whole series this year, I probably would have thought of that. I didn't have too much time to think of what other games that I wanted. But let me exit local match. Go back to single player. Also fun is that the characters are all like chibi sized.
It's funny
It's
because Capcom might have seen the popularity of Puzzle Fighter as like a little niche genre thing, and decided why not just take all these chibi characters that we created
Yeah.
and make a fighting game out of that. And they did. It's called Super Gem Fighter in the West. And we could have played that if we had known that we would have ran into this issue, but things are set up so differently and we're stretched very slowly on time, so
Oh yeah.
it's not going to be a thing.
Oh yeah.
But I can at least talk about Super Puzzle Fighter now because, again, we've been winging it all day.
Gonna keep on winging it.
Yeah, so Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, released in Japan as Super Puzzle Fighter 2 X, is a tile-matching puzzle game released in '96 on the CP System 2, which, by the way, for those who don't know, same system that they use for Street Fighter Alpha or Street Fighter Zero in Japan. Yeah, it was released as an HD version on PSN and Xbox Live, obviously, in 2010. 2007, actually. The high definition version is called Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. Let's see.
Say that 10 times fast.
Let's see. So the idea is that they were going to use, they were going to basically be spoofing off of Street Fighter 2 and all its weird names that it had. For those who caught on to that, congratulations, you're smart. And it uses a lot of elements of Street Fighter Alpha and Darkstalkers. And it was also sort of a response to Sega's Puyo Puyo 2, which would likely explain why MASH over here likes it so much.
I mean, it's not exactly like Puyo Puyo. The mechanics of Puyo Puyo are you're matching the colors, and anything past like 4 matches, you will have they automatically break. But if you pay attention to here, we have now 8 things that basically are next to each other of the same color, and they haven't broken. The reason for that is, of course, because that's not how this game works. They stack up. You have to use these kind of like sparkly spheres of the same color in order to break the gem. You can break as little as 2 pieces at the same time. All that really matters is that they make contact with each other. Again, being like pretty well versed in puzzle games, I can tell you that yeah, like they need to come up with something that sets themselves apart from Puyo Puyo, from Tetris, from all these other puzzle games, because they just wouldn't have anything, you know?
Absolutely. I actually just read over here, Puyo Puyo had been sweeping the Japanese arcades at the time. And for those of you who are too young to remember or even know, fighting games, actually a lot of popular games that we know today, started off as arcade games, which, you know, they're coin-op machines. They, you know, they eat your money. And if it did well enough, they would put it in home consoles. So apparently Sega had hit it big with Puyo Puyo. Capcom's like, we need some of that money. And they made their own little special version of a puzzle fighter, especially adding those 2 fighters in the middle, as you guys can see. You have Ken and Donovan throwing special moves at each other depending on how many times you, I guess, explode these gems. Not tiles, by the way. They call them gems.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like the premise of this. I like the idea of, you know, we have Street Fighter. We could just make another Street Fighter game, or let's make a game that's of a different genre that features the characters from the fighting game. That kind of stuff like really appeals to me, and you know, that's why I would say that this game is for me. not just because I like puzzle games so much, but yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say about that.
I actually also remember that I don't think we got this on footage. We might have, but late last year in December we went to Winter Retro Con. I forgot the name of it.
Yep.
At the Cradle of Aviation.
Yeah.
And they had a Sega Saturn with Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo on it. Using the 3D controller. And I remember touching it and playing it, and I'm just like, this feels nice.
No, it would be cool to play this on original hardware, but I also have a lot of old PS3 games. Unfortunately, as we found, some of them don't work anymore because of reasons. But yeah, I have a lot of old PS3 games, and this was one of the ones that I just happened to get. Now, I also want to go on like a side rant that doesn't really have much to do with the game, if I may.
Go ahead.
And that's woo. And that's just the fact that I kind of like switched over to PlayStation a long time ago, but man, sometimes Sony really gets things wrong, and they get it wrong like bad. They have like a big issue with like coming back to your account and playing a game offline. It's super frustrating for me because this weekend when I went away, I brought Rock Band with me on my PS4, and we wanted to play. And of course, it wouldn't work right out the gate because we had to be connected to the internet, and the internet was having problems, and that was causing problems, and now I lost. And it's just like Sony does this really annoying thing. So I wanted to, as Zero picks his character because we're swapping out now, I wanted to just call back to the very beginning of the generation that we started most recently, before the PS5 and whatever Xbox we have now, the PS4 and the Xbox One. At the very beginning of that generation, there was a huge deal about the Xbox One being DRM only, which means you have to have an internet connection, otherwise your games don't work. And they unveiled it at E3, and everyone hated it. They got so much pushback. There was so much backlash towards basically just Xbox. Basically Microsoft for trying to force a console to have to be online all the time in order to use your content. And Sony, being the sneaky dogs that they are, what they decided was to make fun of Xbox and call them out and basically say like, hey, you can play used games on PS4. You don't have to have an internet connection. This is how you do it. And they made that parody video mocking Microsoft, which I'm sure the backstory of that is they did that in like a hotel room in between E3 press conferences. But anyway, so it was like, you know, they were the good guys at the start of this. And now I feel like every time I turn on a Sony console, it's just nothing but torture trying to get your games to work if you're not connected to the internet, or if your friend logged in, that your account sharing with logged into their account recently, you have to reset your account. And it's just like such a tedious mess. It's such a nightmare that I honestly hate Sony at this point, just from having to deal with this stuff all the time. The Rock Band thing was one issue with my PS4. Again, because it wasn't connected, I couldn't actually play. There's like a little lock that displays next to the icon for the game, and it's like, nope, you can't play because you're not connected to the internet. Well, that sucks to be me if I don't have any internet, you know? The other thing is, we're both Vita boys. We both had PlayStation Vitas. I don't know if you ran into this issue as bad as I did, but a lot of the times when I went away and I was using my Vita, like I was away from the internet connection because I didn't have one of those newfangled 3G Vitas. Of course, 3G isn't even a thing anymore. But my games wouldn't work either. Like I would get on a train and I'd be like, oh, I can't wait to play this because I bought it. Oh, sorry, you have to be connected to the internet. Well, I'm underground on a subway. I'm not going to get connected to the internet. So I pretty much had to settle on other games that happened to work, or like something that I had a disc for. And that was just frustrating. I don't see why you can't just use the game, you know, that you paid money for on the platform of the subway that you're trying to play it. I don't see why I can't play Rock Band when I'm like out with my friends and stuff. And it's just like, it's dumb. It's really dumb. And the worst of it is that Sony started out as the people that were like, no, we're not going to be like that. You don't got to worry if you're on PlayStation. It's like, whoops. What happened there?
Here's the thing. I don't disagree with you. I'm actually quite annoyed at Sony, especially recently, because it's not just you. A lot of other people have been having issues with Sony consoles lately due to the whole DRM issue. So some people, especially since they're paying for online now, paying for the online special services that PlayStation Plus is having, because I have PlayStation Premium. I haven't been running into this issue, but other people have been running into an issue where they're going to be playing one of their premium or like extra games, and they'll be told, "Oh, you've reached your time limit," and then it'll exit the game. It won't necessarily stop you from playing it again, but it'll come up every once in a while, and that was starting to annoy people. I still don't know if that's actually been fixed. Another thing that again, we ran into this earlier. We were going to play a different fighting game. We had to switch to this, and Mash tried to load up a different fighter, and it just wouldn't load because it said, "Oh, the license
has expired."
Yeah, the license had expired.
Yep.
Which confuses me because that's bullshit. He definitely bought the game. Why does he have to, get online to re-up it? It makes no sense.
I'm not licensed to play Dive Kick anymore. I lost my license, unfortunately. It got suspended. I don't understand why it's like that. And I have shout outs to our friend Snapple Pants. He has a hardcore obsession with getting games physical, and the reason being is because when you get the game physical, you have a copy of the game. It's yours. If you're always buying digital, yes, it's more convenient. Yes, you could get it on sale. Yes, you don't have to go to the store. You may lose it one day. If the service goes down, your game might be gone for good. And at that point, it sucks. It's really not a great system. And it's sad to see how not consumer friendly gaming has become, because who cares about people still having access to stuff they paid for? Let's just maximize profits.
It's not only that. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why this is happening. One of the main reasons I would actually say this is happening is because Sony and other companies such as Sony, because Microsoft is doing similar crap. And let's not forget, I mean, there's a lot of heavy DRM with with Steam.
Yep.
So Steam is another thing. You got to be online to use Steam, don't you?
No, you could play it in offline mode.
Oh, I see.
You can, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure some games require you to actually be online, though. Maybe not the Steam client, but some games. But no, this is how it's going to be. They're trying to reduce whatever little money they can by forcing us to buy digital. That way they don't have to get games out there for people to, grab up at a GameStop or whatever.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ,
Whoa.
I got my ass beat. But yeah, it's a future that I'm not ready for, and I actually do not want to deal with, because I am like your friend Snapple Pants. If I can get it physical, I will get it physical. Street Fighter 6, I got it physical. This new Crash game that came out last month, I'm getting it physical. Whatever game I can, I will. And it's because of that same reason. I don't want to run into this issue like we just did today.
Yep. And on other consoles as well, I'm sure many of us have suffered. That's unfortunate. But it's also unfortunate that we are done with this episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it.
If you did, please make sure to slap the like button for us. Let us know in the comments below. Have you played this game, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix? PS3 or Xbox versions. Did you play it on any other older consoles? Who's your favorite character? And also, be sure to slap the subscribe button if you haven't already.
That's right, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you so much, and we'll see you then.
Take care, everyone.